Let's make homemade buffalo wings. Buttermilk, pickle juice. Let these sit for half an hour. For our buffalo sauce, we'll add 2/3 cup hot sauce, a stick of cold butter, 1½ tablespoons white vinegar, a 1/4 teaspoon Worcestershire sauce, a little cayenne pepper, a little garlic powder, and just a pinch of salt. Whisk over medium heat until well combined. I'm telling you right now, homemade buffalo is 10 times better than anything you've ever had at a restaurant or a store. For our chicken dredge, we'll go 2 cups potato starch. Stop frying with flour, it's not crispy. A little garlic powder, chili powder, black truffle salt, onion powder, and pepper. First, we'll fry our chicken about 8 minutes at 325, and now we'll fry at 375 till golden brown. Now that is crispy. Buffalo sauce. Doesn't that look heavenly? If you're ever gonna make a recipe off my page, this is the one. Let's open a durian, the world's stinkiest fruit. I feel like my hand's gonna get a bunch of holes punctured through it. This fruit is so smelly that it's banned on public transport in a lot of countries. Supposedly, it tastes great to some people, but I've heard that it tastes like diced garlic and whipped cream, so let's give it a try. I'll score the edges with my knife, and then I'll open it up. It looks kind of like a chicken breast and an omelet. Yep, that tastes like a garlic custard. Let's make lobster tempura sushi. This is Larry the lobster. Unfortunately, it's time we let him go to sleep. Cook your lobster for a few minutes in a pot of boiling water. For our tempura batter, we'll add a cup of cornstarch, just over a cup all-purpose flour, 1½ cups club soda, and just a pinch of salt. Mini whisk this up. It was too thick, so I added more club soda. Slice into strips, dredge, and then fry. We'll start with our nori, then our sushi rice, then some furikake. Now we'll flip, add our tempura, some cucumber, a little Japanese mayonnaise, and then we'll roll. Cut your sushi into pieces. Full video will be on my YouTube. You did good work today, Mr. Lobster. That tempura is absurd. Let's do a surf and turf challenge. Duet this, and if you beat me, I'll send you a chef's knife. This is gonna be a fun one. My boys here are ready to cook some good food. To humanely kill a crab, you flip them upside down, and in you go. Steam your crabs in a large pot. We'll take our Wagyu filet mignon, generous salt, and pepper. Roll it around. No, Jonathan from the 3rd grade, it's not over-seasoned, and it's not gonna be raw either. A little oil, then in goes the steak. Who can top that crust right there? Add a whole stick of butter, sage and rosemary, and some crushed garlic. All right, how's that look? To our steak butter, I'll add some diced shallot, then our crab meat, some lemon pepper, Old Bay, and heavy cream. Here's the true definition of surf and turf. Add your cream sauce, top it with 1 more claw. Trust me, I know it looks good, but you don't want to eat your friend. That is amazingly good. Let's celebrate 5 million on TikTok. I just couldn't wait. I already started cutting into it. This year, we've done a lot of knife throws. And no, the cutting board is not okay. We've had an amazing journey in 2020. I've kissed and also slapped quite a few different fish. I'm pretty sure I even spanked myself at one point. But what excites me most is how many people we've inspired. I get thousands of messages, literally thousands, every single day from you, telling me you've made one of my recipes. And that's why I'm here. All of you have completely changed my life. We even just got our silver play button on YouTube. I wish I could go and personally thank every single one of you. But for now, a slice of cake will have to do. I hope you'll stick around for a while, because food TikTok's gonna get even better in 2021. If you also love to cook, start making videos on TikTok. I think I can speak for all the food creators when I say that we love to see them. Let's get you a nice big slice. That looks amazing. This piece is for you. To many more knife throws in 2020. Let's make hot sauce caviar. Start by grating 2 russet potatoes and 1 large onion into a bowl. Add this to a dish towel and squeeze out as much liquid as possible. Add this to a bowl, followed by 2 eggs, a ½ cup all-purpose flour, a little salt, a teaspoon baking powder, and a little pepper. Mix until the flour is absorbed. For our hot sauce caviar, a 1/4 cup truff, a 1/4 cup water, and just a little pinch of agar powder. It's a seaweed powder. Allow this to activate over medium heat. Now use a dropper to get your hot sauce liquid, then drop in your caviar and watch it fall. That right there is hot sauce caviar. Strain into a bowl and catch your caviar. Add your latke, flip it, place down our latke, add some sour cream, our truff caviar, and then a bit more hot sauce. Unbelievably good. Let's make sushi from a live eel. Full video will be on my YouTube. To start, we'll fillet our eels. I just don't want to show this part. Once we have a really nice eel fillet, we'll slice it in half, then place them into a vacuum sealed bag, which we'll sous vide. Whip up some unagi sauce, a little soy sauce, mirin, sugar, and sake. To your bag, add just a bit of sesame oil and a little unagi sauce. Now press down and seal. Add your eel to a sous vide bath. We'll cook for 10 minutes at 138 degrees Fahrenheit exactly. Add your unagi to a large bowl. Cover it with plastic wrap. Now smoke it with mesquite chips. Slice your unagi into nice portions that should look something like this. Shape your sushi rice, top it with a piece of unagi, and then a light coating of our unagi sauce. Finish with a piece of nori. And there you have it, unagi nigiri. Here we go. That is an indescribably good bite. Let's make homemade gummy bears. 1 3-ounce packet of flavored jello, 1 packet of unflavored gelatin, and a 1/4 teaspoon citric acid. Stir to combine. Then add a 1/4 cup corn syrup and a 1/3 cup of water. Stir gently with a soup spoon. Then let this sit for 5 minutes. Microwave this on and off for about 1 minute and 15 seconds. Fill up your oiled gummy bear mold and let it rest for half an hour. Then place this in the fridge for half an hour. Push the gummy bears from their mold. Then let them sit upright for 48 hours. And once your gummies have been well rested, you'll end up with these perfect, beautiful gummy bears. I mean, come on. How cool are these? I still like jelly beans better. Let's make brownies from a cacao pod. Slice open your cacao pod, add your seeds to a bowl, let them ferment for a week. And then you have cacao nibs. We'll blend these up to make some of our own cocoa powder. We'll add our cacao nibs and then grind them into cocoa powder. 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, 1½ teaspoons instant coffee granules, 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of boiling water, 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate, full stick of melted butter, 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons vegetable oil. Then add 2 whole large eggs plus 2 large yolks, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. This right here is my homemade vanilla extract, but it's still got about 340 days to go. 2 cups of granulated sugar, 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. Pour your batter into a pan. Bake this about 45 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. These brownies are looking thick. It's pretty cool that we just went from this to this. And the full video will be on my YouTube. There's nothing quite like a beautiful cacao pod. Easily the best brownie I have ever had. Let's make homemade ketchup. Rough chop an onion and several Roma tomatoes. Add these to a small pot, along with a nice splash of apple cider vinegar, a few tablespoons light brown sugar, a little cinnamon, cloves, celery salt, and bay leaves. Cook this over medium heat about 30 minutes until your tomatoes are soft. Now let's make some fries. Cut your potato into thin strips. Add your fries to a bowl of cold water, and repeat this process until all the starch is gone. Lay down a kitchen towel, and get your fries as dry as possible. The drier they are, the crispier they'll be. First, cook your fries for 5 minutes at 300 Fahrenheit. Now bring the oil up to 400 Fahrenheit. Fry at 400 till crispy. Once your fries are nice and crispy, pull them out. Pick out your bay leaves, then add this to a blender. Now strain this back into your pan and cook it a bit more over medium heat until it's the right consistency. Once your ketchup is about this consistency, place it in the fridge to cool. Homemade ketchup. How awesome is that? Turns out Heinz ketchup can be beat. Let's make Wagyu sliders. Brine your meat, slice your tomato and onion, and caramelize your onions. This is what I call a perfect set of buns. It's toasty, not burnt. Add your patty and smash. A little salt and pepper, and add your cheese. Add your onion, patty, tomato, lettuce, homemade ketchup, and mayo. You can also add an egg on top. Doop. I cannot wait to eat this thing. That's unbelievable. Let's make crispy rice from a salmon. This right here is an Ora King salmon. It's from New Zealand, and most consider this type to be the Wagyu of salmon. Let's cook it up. We'll use a really flexible fillet knife. Then I'll come right around the head, across the top of the fish, and then lift off our first fillet. We'll separate the fillet from the skin, then cut out a piece of the belly, leaving us with what I think is the best tasting part of the entire salmon. We'll cut this into cubes. Season your salmon cubes with soy sauce, mirin, crispy onions, sesame oil, and furikake. Press your sushi rice into a ring mold to make these perfect little rice cakes. Drop the rice medallions evenly into the fryer. Place your salmon on top of your crispy rice, and top it with a few slices of green onion. Now tell me that doesn't look insane. That is one of the best bites I've ever had. Let's deep fry a piece of Wagyu. This is a $300 Wagyu. This Wagyu has won the Wagyu Olympics in Japan several times. And I figure, why not try to deep fry it? I'll add just a little bit of salt and gently drop in my Wagyu. Once we've let a minute or two go by, I'll put my piece of Wagyu on a rack and just let this rest for a second. Slice your Wagyu into thin strips and then hit it with a little bit of black flaky salt. This right here is some of the juiciest meat I have ever made. That is the juiciest steak I have ever had. Let's make potato gnocchi. Peel your potatoes, then toss them in a bowl of cold water. Add your potatoes to a small pot, and then cover these with boiling water. Now cook them about 25 minutes until fork tender. Once they're fork tender, pour your potatoes into a bowl and cover them with a kitchen towel to steam them. Let that come through. Pop in a half of flour, crack 1 egg, quickly whisk up, and add right into the center of my potatoes. Gently knead your dough together until you get a nice uniform mixture. Flour your cutting board, then roll out a ball of your gnocchi dough. Cut this into portions. Does anybody recognize that little gnocchi pillow? Then roll them off your gnocchi board into the boiling water. When the gnocchi are floating, remove them from the heat. Add them into the butter. Flip them around a little bit. Now take a big sexy hunk of Parmesan cheese and just lightly shave it over the top of this. This tastes like a pillowy truffle cloud. Let's make grape tonghulu. Add 2 cups of sugar and 1 cup of water to a small saucepan. Bring it to a boil over high heat. Dip your stick into your sugar and into some ice water. Once it's hard and cracks, you're ready to dip. Add on a few grapes and then dip. These are so fun to make. How cool is that? To get the sugar out of your pan at the end, boil it with some water. It'll come right out. Now those are fun to make. Let's make homemade garlic naan in a cast iron skillet. Into a bowl, add a half cup warm water, a teaspoon of sugar, and a packet of active dry yeast. Stir and then let this sit for 10 minutes. To the center of our cutting board, we'll add 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, then make a nice well right through the middle. Then we'll add a half cup plain yogurt, a tablespoon of oil, and just a pinch of salt. Then we'll add in our yeast mixture. And now combine the dough and knead about 10 minutes until it's soft and smooth. Now lay a damp kitchen towel and rest it in a warm place for an hour. Remove your towel, flour your surface, and divide your dough into 6 to 8 equal pieces. Roll your dough into a circle, add your dough to a cast iron over medium-high heat. The bubbles should form up nice and quickly. These bubbles are stupid thick. Flip it over. I am extremely pleased with how this naan turned out. Now in a stainless steel pan, add a nice hunk of butter, followed by some minced garlic. Brush on your garlic butter and finish with some freshly chopped parsley. Here we go. That's crazy. Let's make homemade pesto. Yes, I have a hamster named Pesto too, but no, we're not gonna cook him. He's just way too cute. Blanch your basil for about 15 seconds. This means quickly cook it in some boiling water. Fill a bowl with ice, then cover it with water and let the basil cool off. Then gently pat your basil dry. In that same basil water, salt your water like the ocean, then add some homemade pasta. If this gets you at all excited, the full video is on YouTube. When your pasta's al dente, remove it from the heat. If you bite through pasta and still see that white layer in the middle, it's not done yet. To my blender, I'll add some toasted pine nuts. Then I need just 1 or 2 cloves of garlic. I'll add my clove of garlic and my blanched basil, then a nice generous serving of Parmesan cheese. Then cover that up with some olive oil. Now we blend. Delicious. Pour in your pesto and give it a toss. Look, I almost got as many rings as Tom Brady, but they're better because they have pesto on them. You should call her. That is stupid good. Let's make dino nuggets. Grind up some fresh dinosaur, then add some buttermilk, garlic powder, onion powder, and lemon pepper. Then add an egg, a little ketchup, and some Parmesan cheese. Spread it onto a greased baking sheet, then freeze. Punch out your dinosaurs. Crack 2 eggs into a small bowl, along with a 1/3 cup buttermilk. Bathe your dinosaurs in the egg wash and then the panko breadcrumbs. Our cute little baby is ready to fry. Drop them in at 375 until golden brown. Who knows the name of this dinosaur? For our dipping sauce, a little mayo and a little truff. I'm going head first. That's seriously amazing. Let's make salt cured egg yolks. Add 1 pound of kosher salt and 1 pound of sugar to a blender. Blend to break things up a little bit. It should now be a nice fine powder. Pour half this mixture evenly across a baking sheet. Using a whole egg, make 12 indents into the mixture. The yolks will sit here. Separate out your egg yolks, then place them gently into the indentation. Do your best to remove those little white bits that hang off the edge. Now that we have our army of egg yolks, I'll gently cover all of them with the sugar and salt mixture. We'll give this a generous covering of plastic wrap and then leave this in the fridge for a week. After a week in the fridge, we'll take off our plastic wrap. Digging these out is so fun. It's like digging for fossils. I'll rinse them in water, dry them off, then toss these in the oven at 200 Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes. You know what these kind of look like? Apricots. Grate your yolk over a Japanese A5 Wagyu. Now hit that with just a little bit of flaky salt and you're ready to eat. That's unbelievable. Let's make deep fried lobster mac and cheese balls. Salmon H-Woo, you're going down. We'll start with good old Larry the lobster. He's a real handsome fella. Time for him to go. Give Larry a quick steam. Salt your water like the ocean. Then add in that macaroni. I got a cool new way of straining things lately. Melt a half stick of butter, followed by a 1/4 cup of flour. Now add in 2 cups of half and half and stir to thicken. For the cheese, we'll start with a big hunk of this synthetic but really melty cheese. Then we'll add a big handful of cheddar and a bunch of Colby Jack. Stir it until melty and cheesy like this. In goes our macaroni, a few breadcrumbs, and that fresh lobster meat. Toss it in the fridge for about a half an hour. Crack a few eggs. Shape your mac and cheese into balls and then roll in the egg, then into breadcrumb. 375 Fahrenheit. And once they're golden brown, out they come. Perfection. Look at that lobster in there. I am so excited. That is just unfair. Let's make a crispy chicken sandwich. For our brioche buns, water, milk, and yeast. Egg, salt, all-purpose flour, whole wheat flour. Then add your butter. Divide, shape into balls. Once they've rested, egg wash, then bake them. Chicken thighs, brine in buttermilk, and pickle juice. Season up your potato starch, then dredge our chicken. Shake off that excess. Then we'll double fry our chicken, first at 325 Fahrenheit, then at 375. Let them rest when they're nice and crispy. Hit them with a little buttermilk dill powder. Toast those buns. Crispy gang, where you at? We'll start with our lemon aioli, add our chicken, couple of homemade pickles, then that big beautiful bun. Tell me that doesn't look absurdly good. All right, we gotta give our sandwich a shot. I'm really curious to see how that compares to Popeyes. Let's order on Grubhub. Not a flex, but I have $143 in Grubhub perks right now. Maybe there'll be a deal for Popeyes. All right, now I'm a little nervous based on the crispiness levels of this one. Here goes nothing. They're both so good, it's too hard to tell. Let's make a Wagyu burger. Full video will be on my YouTube. We'll start here with number 1 and no, he's too precious. I can't throw him. Grind until it looks like this. We'll make our patty, place it down, and give it a smash. Flip your patty over. Then place down your cheese. Knead that pretzel bun dough until soft and smooth. Then shape them into that perfect bun. Cook your buns in some boiling water with baking soda. This is what makes them pretzel buns. Place these in the oven at 425 Fahrenheit, and here's the bun I'm gonna be using. We're picking the Nick bun, because this is the Nick burger. Toast those buns till they're nice and golden brown. To assemble our burger, I'll add some lettuce so things don't get soggy. First patty, a slice of tomato with some black flaky salt, crispy fried onions, a first layer of our special sauce, second patty, homemade pickle, and then our bun with a little more special sauce. Tell me that's not one of the most beautiful burgers you've ever seen. Let's cut this juicy boy in half. That right there is a burger. It's one of the craziest bites of burgers that I've ever had. Let's make homemade chips and salsa. Start by cutting up a few peppers, half an onion, a few cloves of garlic, maybe something a little spicy if you like it, but I don't really like it. A few Roma tomatoes, and some old corn tortillas to have those ready to fry. How do so many people not know that tortilla chips come from corn tortillas? It seems like such a straightforward thing to me. Fry those tortillas in some nice hot oil. Then once they're nice and golden brown, take them out. Drop in those chips. Hit them with some flaky salt. Start with a little olive oil on your baking sheet. Then evenly spread out all your vegetables facing downwards. These are gonna roast in the oven for a while. Hit them with a little bit of salt and then a little bit of pepper. Toss these in the oven at 400 Fahrenheit till they're golden brown and sizzly. Listen to that crackle. To a blender, add your cilantro, fresh squeezed lime juice, a little bit of salt, then all those roasted veggies. Now blend it up. Add it to a bowl, cover it with plastic wrap, then add some hickory chips and smoke it up. Now we'll take off the wrap. These are insanely, insanely good. Some of the best salsa I have ever had. Let's make churro fries. That's right, churro French fries. In a small saucepan, add a half cup water, 3 tablespoons butter, and a tablespoon sugar. Bring to a boil. Then add a half cup flour and stir until clumpy. Once the mixture makes a big ball like this, rest for 10 minutes. For our chocolate sauce, a half cup heavy cream, 3 ounces of chocolate, a little cayenne pepper, and a pinch of flaky salt. Save this for later. Now off the heat, add in 1 egg and a little pinch of vanilla extract. Drop this into a piping bag. If you don't have a piping bag, just cut out the corner of a plastic bag and you're ready to fry. Pipe in your fries at 375 Fahrenheit and remove them once golden brown and crispy. Add them to our bowl, then add some sugar and some cinnamon. Meet the new and improved French fry, the churro fry. Now we dip and eat. Let's make mango chicken. I'll drop in my chicken thighs, brine them in equal parts buttermilk and pickle juice. Trust me, this recipe will tickle your pickle. Try to find a few champagne mangoes. These are the best. For your mango sauce, some sesame oil, then some garlic. Your onions and peppers, then some mango juice, soy sauce, rice vinegar, chili paste, ketchup, salt, a little honey too. Finish it off with your mango, and then set this aside. Cut your chicken into nuggets, just like that. For our dredge, 1 cup cornstarch, 2 cups panko breadcrumb, chili powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Dredge your chicken, then shake off the excess. First fry a few minutes at 325 Fahrenheit, then again at 375 till golden brown and crispy. Pour on that mango sauce. This is the most unbelievably crispy looking piece of chicken right here. Come on. Let's cut open an entire leg of jamon iberico. This is an entire leg of jamon iberico, specifically 5 jotas or 5-star jamon iberico, the best of the best. You've heard of prosciutto, right? You can think of this as the best prosciutto in the entire world. This meat is so special that the pigs are serenaded with Mozart before they're killed. To cut it, we use this long, flexible knife called a jamonero. The key to slicing it is nice, clean strokes with your knife. And the slices should be almost paper thin. This ham is truly magical. Because these pigs only eat acorns, it's nutty and smooth and insane. To watch the full video, where I make 3 recipes from this, go to my link in bio. One more bite. You just can't beat that. Let's make nature's cereal, but a little bit fancy. We'll start by removing the coconut's bathing suit. I can already tell this is a juicy ass coconut. Scoop out some of that flesh. We'll use it later for extra flavor. To assemble, we'll add a few mini ice cubes, some chopped coconut flesh, a few raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and our coconut water. Since you wanted it fancy, let's finish with a gold leaf. Because how could it get fancier than that? Time to try it out. Am I supposed to chew the ice? I'll say this, it's not the worst thing I've ever tasted. Let's make homemade goldfish. Out of here, goldfish. There's a new sheriff in town. To a blender or food processor, add 3 cups of sharp cheddar cheese, 1 cup all-purpose flour, a sprinkle of paprika, a little onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. Pulse till it combines a little bit. Add in 6 tablespoons of cold butter. Pulse until it makes pea-sized clumps. Now drizzle in about a tablespoon of cold water until it forms a ball. Flour your work surface and drop down that dough. Shape it into a nice ball. Divide it in half, then roll it out as thin as you can get it. Now shape out your goldfish, and we're ready to bake. Once we've laid them on our parchment sheet, we'll hit them with some flaky salt and bake 15 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. These look incredible. I organized them in a perfect color gradient. This has to be one of the most fun things I've made yet. I'm not kidding, these are really addicting. And the homemade ones are crunchier too. They actually taste like real cheese. Let's make banana tong hulu. 2 cups sugar, 1 cup water. Bring this to a boil and don't stir. Swirl if you need to. Do you peel from the top or the bottom? I'm more of a top guy myself. Once the sugar hits 300 Fahrenheit, dip in that banana, then plunge it into ice water. Can you see that perfect shine on the banana? I will say it can slide off and it looks a little weird. If you want to keep cooking with me, join me tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern on Amazon Live. Let's give it a try. Cool consistency, but I don't know if I really like it. Let's make cheesy garlic bread. Chop off your garlic's head, place it in a ramekin, then cover in olive oil, salt, and pepper. Roast at 400 Fahrenheit till golden brown. 40 minutes later, you'll have the best garlic of your life. 3/4 cup warm water, 1 packet active dry yeast, and a little pinch of sugar. Rest for 5 minutes. Now add 1.5 tablespoons olive oil, 1/2 teaspoon vinegar, and a pinch of salt. Slowly add 1.5 to 2 cups of bread flour. Once that dough is as smooth as a baby's bottom, drop it into a greased bowl. Cover with a damp towel and rest in a warm place for an hour. Slide that dough onto a baking sheet and press it out. Cover it again 15 minutes. Make indents in your dough. Pour your garlic oil over it, then squeeze out that garlic confit. I had to do 2 because of how good this is. Add some melty cheese, then bake at 475 Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Listen to that cheesy goodness. Hit it with a few chives. I gotta say, that looks pretty ridiculous. Enjoy that cheesy insanity. Quite possibly one of the cheesiest things I've ever made. That is just unfair. Let's make crispy Alfredo chicken wings. Got that quick 2-hour delivery. Brine those wings in buttermilk and pickle juice. Let them sit for half an hour. Season your potato starch, then dredge your wings. Tap off that excess. First fry those wings a few minutes at 325 Fahrenheit, then at 375 Fahrenheit till golden brown and crispy. Wings just don't get better than that. Drop in your wings, then hit them with a little salt. Now for our sauce. Into our pan we'll add a 1/2 stick of butter, 2 tablespoons minced garlic, and once that's nice and toasty, a cup of heavy cream. Then grate 1 1/4 cups Parmesan cheese. That cheese is fluffy as can be. Pour that thickened sauce over your wings. Hit them with those fresh chopped chives. This is one of those things that you just taste and never forget. I'm gonna dream about these every night. Look at how unbelievably good that looks. Now we give it a try. Without a question, one of the top 5 things I've ever made on TikTok. Let's make beetroot pasta. Blend up a few beets, then separate out 10 egg yolks. Even when separating, I still do that one-handed egg crack. We'll do 2.5 cups 00 flour, then make a nice well in the middle. Now in go our egg yolks, then some of our beet puree. Cover in plastic wrap and let it rest in the fridge for 20 minutes. Slice your dough, roll it out, flour, then roll it out. And once you get a nice long pasta sheet, give it whatever shape you want. Twirl it up. Salt that water like the ocean, then add in your pasta. Don't forget to save some pasta water. For our garlic cream sauce, hunk of butter, minced garlic, and once it gets crispy, a splash of heavy cream and some Parmesan cheese. We'll add our pasta to the cream sauce. I sort of have a love-hate relationship with beets. Sometimes I love them, sometimes I hate them. A little more Parmesan cheese. Delicious. Let's make a ribbon fish. This thing's almost as tall as me. This right here is called a ribbon fish. It's got these crazy prehistoric-like teeth, almost like fangs. But that doesn't mean I can't give it a little kiss. Time to cook it up. To start, we'll slice off its head, then I'll trim off the top fin, because we can't eat that part, and then cut it into steaks. Now I'll lightly score the edges, hit it with a little salt, and it's ready to cook. Over high heat, I'll start with a little bit of vegetable oil, then place down our fish. Once our fish is crispy, give it a nice little flip. Now in that same oil, we'll toss in garlic, ginger, thin sliced scallion. Place the fish back in the pan, then add some rice vinegar, soy sauce, a little bit of chicken stock, sprinkle of sugar, some salt, and a couple peppercorns. It looks like we've achieved maximum crispiness. To finish, we'll place down our fish, paint on some of our sauce, then a few sesame seeds, and some green onion. Finish it off with a drizzle of honey. Tastes better than it looks, that's for sure. Let's make a bloomin' onion in an air fryer. I've finally done it. I've joined the air fryer gang. Slice down the sides of your onion. In one bowl, we'll add 2 eggs, and a ½ cup buttermilk. In our other bowl, 2 cups cornstarch, some Old Bay seasoning, and a nice pinch of salt. Dredge your onion in the dry mixture, then in your wet mixture, then back in the dry. Shake off that excess. I know it looks messy, but we'll dishwash the fryer basket when done. In goes our bloomin' onion. Add a little oil to get it crispy. Now 12 minutes at 400 Fahrenheit. For our bloomin' onion sauce, ½ cup of mayonnaise, 1½ tablespoons horseradish. Yes, this is what horseradish looks like. 2 teaspoons ketchup, a little paprika, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I like to add a squeeze of lemon too. Then look at that saucy sauce. Okay, look at that crispiness. The fact that I just fried this with 95% less oil is pretty freaking cool. This is good. Almost too good. That's insanely good. Let's make Fruity Pebbles ice cream. Knife thrower with a tiny knife. First we'll make Fruity Pebble milk. 1 cup milk and a big handful of pebbles. In a small saucepan, 1 cup milk, 2 cups heavy cream, 2/3 cup sugar. Whisk until the sugar dissolves. To a separate bowl, add 6 egg yolks. Whisk them up a little bit, then slowly temper in a bit of our milk mixture. Now all of it goes back on the heat until thickened. Once it thickens enough to coat the back of a spoon, let it cool. Scoop in our ice cream. Look at that perfect soft serve. That might be my favorite bowl of ice cream ever. Time for a little bite. Damn, that's good. Let's make homemade peeps. Start by adding a few drops of food coloring or powdered dyes to your sugar. Mix them all up. Now into a medium bowl, we'll add a 1/3 cup cold water and about 3 tablespoons of powdered gelatin. Let this bloom for 10 minutes. Now in a small saucepan, add 1½ cups water and 3 cups of sugar. Then without stirring, let that sugar dissolve. Add your gelatin, and when the gelatin dissolves, bring this to a low boil for 15 minutes. You don't want this to happen. Add the liquid to your mixer and whisk. Toss in a bit of vanilla. Once it's thickened, stop mixing. Dust the bottom of your parchment paper. Add your marshmallow to a piping bag. Pipe on your peeps. Then cover with sugar and let them sit overnight to set. These things really are the cutest, aren't they? Once these have had some nice time to rest, we'll open them up for that marshmallowy goodness. I mean, you have to admit, those marshmallows came out really well. Time to take a little bite. Wait, these taste way better than actual peeps. Let's eat an avocado the right way. Not enough people know how to eat an avocado. Start by setting your knife aside. You're not gonna need it. Peel away all the skin of your avocado, just like you would with an orange. Just be careful not to damage the avocado when you do this. That right there is a perfectly half-peeled avocado. Once it's fully peeled, you can eat around the pit. Kind of a game changer, right? Let's make brown butter gnocchi.
Gnocchi, bitch.
Peel 4 potatoes.
Cut your potatoes.
And once they're in nice cubes,
Get your water boiling, put some salt in there.
and drop in those potatoes.
Bitch. Cover it to steam.
Rice those potatoes. Crack in 1 egg.
1 cup of flour. Once it's in a ball,
Roll it nice and thin.
cut it up. Why couldn't the chef get into the kitchen? Because he had no key.
Once it's floating, strain it. It should look like nice little pillows.
Drop the sage into the brown butter.
Then add your gnocchi.
Some Parmesan on top. Buon appetito.
Let's make pasta in an entire wheel of Parmesan cheese. This right here is Parmigiano Reggiano straight from Italy. This whole wheel weighs over 80 pounds and it's been aged for 24 months. It smells incredible. I'm gonna open it up and make some pasta. We're gonna start with this little knife and make a nice guideline around the cheese. Then we're gonna take this funny looking thing, wedge the tip into the line and pull. Now we'll wedge in this funny looking knife, which will start to cut open the rind. Now with yet another tool, we wedge it in really hard, then wiggle back and forth. And once it's ready, we wedge it open. First we'll carve a bowl into our parm wheel. For our pasta, separate out 12 egg yolks. And once our pasta dough is in a perfect ball, we'll rest it in the fridge for half an hour. Flour it up, and then put it through your pasta maker. Now roll out the fettuccine. We'll toss in our pasta. We'll pour in that pasta, cream sauce. Finish it off with some fresh grated Parmigiano Reggiano. Full video is on my YouTube now. That is crazy. Let's make steak from a cauliflower. I'm gonna treat this cauliflower the exact same way I would treat a steak, but it's gonna be vegan. First, we'll cut our cauliflower this way to make nice steaks. This right here will be our steak. First, we'll cover our steak in salt and pepper. I'll add a little oil to my carbon steel pan. And over high heat, in goes my steak. Once we get a nice golden brown crust, we flip. Now we'll smash some garlic. And into our pan, we'll add vegan butter, garlic, and rosemary. Now we'll butter baste it a little bit, and this will go in the oven at 375 Fahrenheit until that perfect medium rare. Don't tell me I'm gonna like this better than regular steak. Down goes my steak. Here's a nice comparison to show you that crust we got. Hold on, that's really good. Let's make buffalo chicken dip with linja. Start by tearing up a rotisserie chicken.
Karate chop, green onions.
Now into a cast iron pan, add your chicken,
Green onions,
a tablespoon of garlic butter,
8 ounces of cream cheese.
a half cup sour cream.
Now mix it up.
Now add some blue cheese crumbles.
Some salt and pepper.
Now a bunch of cheddar cheese.
Bank on some hot sauce.
Now bake at 375 till golden brown.
Sprinkle on a few chives. Mmm.
Let's make pasta chips. Salt your water, then cook your pasta. Stir so they don't stick. Comment your favorite pasta shape below. Dry off your pasta, because we gotta fry it. Now we'll fry our pasta at 325 till golden brown. Once they're crispy, take them out. Add a little salt, dip them in some sauce. And just like that, you got the best snack ever. Let's make a s'mores milkshake. Shake that jumbo. Stand them all up, broil till golden brown. Once it looks something like this, you're all set. Listen, I'm a little bit in awe by how pretty these marshmallows are. You can also torch them, and it's even better over a fire. Now to a blender, add 3 big scoops of vanilla ice cream, a few of those beautiful toasted marshmallows, a little malted milk powder, 1/3 cup crumbled graham cracker, and about a cup of milk. Crumble in some chocolate and blend it all up. Add marshmallow caps. Now fill it up. How do I even drink this? Let's make honeycomb candy from a real honeycomb. This right here is a black locust honeycomb. Look how gorgeous it is. Spray a lined baking sheet, set it aside. In a medium pan, add 1 1/4 cup sugar, 1/4 cup of honey, 1/4 cup water. When it reaches 300 Fahrenheit, add a tablespoon of baking soda. Immediately whisk and it'll foam up really quickly. And after just whisking a few seconds, pour it onto the prepared baking sheet. Then let this cool completely for an hour or 2. Look at that jiggle. You see all those air bubbles? That means we nailed this honeycomb. Unbelievable. Let's make caviar egg bites. Fill a pot with water, add a splash of vinegar. This helps so that the whites don't ooze out when you cook your eggs. When your water boils, drop in those eggs for 6 minutes and 9 seconds. Don't forget to add a lid. Now make an ice bath, and when your eggs are done, let them take a little swim. This one's not looking too good. Now peel those eggs, so soft. Slice them in half. The perfect goopy egg. Now for our caviar. This is Royal Acetra caviar, the best of the best. Let's take a generous scoop. Now we'll add some creme fraiche and our nice scoop of caviar. And that right there is the perfect caviar egg bite. I don't love soft-boiled eggs, but I love caviar. Buttery, salty, delicious. Let's make homemade corn dogs. Start with 1 1/2 cups corn flour, 1 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup granulated sugar, tablespoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt. Now whisk it up and set it aside. Now in a separate bowl, 1 3/4 cup buttermilk, 1 large egg, 1 tablespoon olive oil, and 2 tablespoons of honey. Then combine it all in one bowl and whisk. The consistency should look something like this. Now grab your wieners and shove those wooden sticks right up their butt. Ow. And now you can dip them. Dip those wieners, then drop it straight in your oil at 350 Fahrenheit. Once those wieners get nice and golden brown, pull them out. This right here is what dreams are made of. Shower it in some fresh honey. God, that's hot. That is genuinely unbelievable. Let's do a crawfish boil.
Let's get it, dude.
These guys are lively. Rinse them off. To your water, add pepper, coriander, onion powder, garlic powder, ground mustard, smoked paprika, ground cloves and allspice, dill weed, cayenne pepper, a few bay leaves, and whatever the heck else you want. It's seafood boil season. My glass pot is just cracked. This is not good. I love a good sausage. Now add some corn, potatoes, plenty of garlic, and Zatarain smoked sausage, which you can get at a Kroger family store. Last but not least, we'll let our crawdaddy swim in here for a few minutes. I like to add some butter. Hit the link in my bio to get 1,000 in free groceries from Zatarain's. To eat these properly, don't forget the sausage, then slurp the head, eat the tail. Let's eat some caviar. Actually, we can do better than that. Why don't we talk about caviar? First, we'll open it up. Look at all those amazing pearls. This big tin has almost double all of these little ones combined. My favorite way to eat it, grab a chip, a little creme fraiche, and a dollop of caviar. This is Royal Acetra caviar. Caviar all comes from one fish, the sturgeon. This is from an Acetra sturgeon, and they typically weigh between 50 and 400 pounds. When we scoop it, we don't want to use stainless steel because that can break the pearls. When you eat it, you also don't want to bite down and chew. Instead, you want to press your tongue against the roof of your mouth and pop all those pearls. Let's taste it. With this caviar, the flavor is salty, fatty, and briny, even a little bit buttery. And it leaves this long-lasting sea breeze flavor on your tongue. It's pretty tasty, which is why each of these little tins can cost up to $700. Link in bio for my new YouTube video where I give out 50 of these tins to random people on the street. Let's cook a black egg. Separate out the yolk and set it aside. A few drops of black dye. Add a square of butter, and then the egg white, or the egg black, I should say. Now we'll add back our yolk and place on a lid. And just like that, our egg is complete. What other food should I try this with? Time to pop the yolk. We obviously had to pop the yolk, right? Let's make smoked lobster tails. Let's open my mystery box. Oh. I happen to think lobsters are beautiful. This is quick and painless. Blanch the lobster, then out we go. Perfect tail. Lobster, parsley, stick of butter, garlic, lemon zest, a little bit of saffron. Now it's sealed. Sous vide 30 minutes. Man, that looks good. Lobster tail, lobster meat, saffron butter. Quick little torch with my flamethrower, hickory chips. Place on your lid. Click the link in my bio for 20% off your first monthly box. Or go to bespokepost.com and use code NICK20. Every box has at least $70 in retail value, but costs only $45. This is pretty cool, right? Let's try the watermelon mustard trend, but make it fancy. Everyone's hopping on this watermelon mustard trend, so let's try it. When picking a watermelon, always give it a whack to make sure it's hollow. Those ones are the best. We'll make a few perfect squares like this. For our plating, we'll drop down our melon cubes, add a few nice dots of our mustard just to brighten things up a little bit, and a few nice green herbs, and last but not least, a touch of edible gold. And there's your fancy watermelon and mustard. That does actually look pretty good. Let's cook with an 18-liter bottle of wine. Lefty. We're gonna turn this entire thing into a small red wine reduction. Carve off the wax on the top. It's time to pour. Just look at that sweet, sweet nectar. At this point, we'll peel some potatoes, and now we'll get them nice and fluffy. This right here is a whole Muscovy duck. Oh, naturally, let's give it a quick spank. After carving, we have 2 whole breasts. Score the duck breast, ultimately getting a checkerboard pattern. Then we'll hit it with a little bit of salt. At this point, we've gotten our beautifully crispy duck, butter-based. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that we got from this whole bottle to this right here. This will have flavor like you could never imagine. We'll remove the herbs, then carve our duck, then our red wine reduction, potato puree, as well as a few leaves of parsley. Can you honestly say that's not one of the prettiest plates you've ever seen? It's soft, it's tender, it has an amazing grape wine flavor. I still can't get over how big this thing is. Let's make sushi pizza from a whole king salmon. This right here is a California king salmon. Look how beautiful it is inside that belly. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but I'm not gonna kiss it or spank it today. Good salmon. Moments later, I filleted the salmon, and now we're ready to make some salmon cubes. I'm gonna peel away this belly and just appreciate how beautiful that is. We'll take our salmon and then cut it into really nice cubes. Sushi rice. And then a bunch of water to rinse it off. Once that sushi rice is cooked, let it steam and rest for a while. To assemble our pizza, we'll start by spreading out sushi rice on each slice. At this point, we're ready to doctor up our sushi pizza. And this right here is what I like to call sushi pizza. I think we've just invented the best pizza ever. I don't know about you, but I always fold up my crust. Here we go. That right there is as good as it gets. Let's make smoked horchata. Blindfold. Freeze your glass. Into a bowl, add a cup of rice, a half cup slivered almonds, and a cinnamon stick. Then cover with water and soak overnight. In the morning, the water will be murky and everything will be softer. Strain it, then add to your blender with 12 ounces evaporated milk and blend. Now toss down some cheesecloth, strain, back in the blender with a cup of sugar, half cup of milk, and a few cups of water. Who doesn't love a good pour? It's best served out of a cold cup. Now we smoke it. Link in bio to get a discounted bespoke box just like mine. That is way better than I could have ever possibly imagined. Let's make Chick-fil-A sauce. You can drive to Chick-fil-A or you can make it yourself. Start with a half cup of mayo. I'm sorry for doing that. A few teaspoons mustard, a few tablespoons barbecue sauce, and a few tablespoons honey until you're happy. Now mix it all up. I know it sounds crazy, but that's all there is to it. Now take your frozen waffle fries, toss them in your fryer. Once they get nice and crispy, add them to a sheet tray and hit them with some salt. This sauce is insane. Look at that sauce. That's even better than the real thing. Let's make 60-day butter-aged Wagyu. Hi-ya! We can't do anything without giving it a spank. To start, I'm gonna carve through this bad boy with my knife. And then, voila. This right here is a 60-day butter-aged Wagyu. To peel off the butter, I'm gonna dig in and pull off the layers. This will start to show some funky colored Wagyu. Peeling off the butter is super satisfying. At this point, we'll trim off that bark, but let's not forget to appreciate that marbling. Ultimately, this is what we're left with. Time to cook some Wagyu. Does that look a little weird to anybody? Once we've cut it into cubes, hit it with some flaky salt, and then we sear our Wagyu cube. Once we've achieved that beautiful golden brown crust, we'll flip them over. To finish, I'll paint them with a bit of butter. I will slice that Wagyu and appreciate that delicious fat. Hit a soft-boiled egg with some flaky salt, Wagyu, and it's time to eat. That is impossibly good. Let's make pasta chips. Salt that water, then cook your pasta. Strain your pasta. That's what good puts. Now add some olive oil, a little truffle salt, and some Parmesan. I'll add some ranch too. Into the air fryer, fry at 400 for 10 minutes. These are crispy. Dip it in some pesto. I made these 2 months ago and no one seemed to care, but now everyone's saying, let's make sushi from a whole tuna. We're gonna start by cutting along the spine.
Then we'll hack off the collar
Now we'll take off that tuna loin.
and cut it off the skin.
Now we'll cut out some tuna steaks.
Then cut some slices.
Now we'll start with our sushi rice.
Then we place the tuna,
Now some foie gras.
crispy onions.
Now some mayo.
Then we torch it.
Then roll it up.
Slice it up.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Nick, that was one of the best sushis I ever had, man.
Let's eat live sea urchin. This right here is a stunningly beautiful sea urchin. If you look closely, right here you can see its beak. And it just so happens they're my favorite food. I'll scoop out the gonads, and there you have it. My brand new salt company launches today. It's already selling out fast, so link in my bio to get some now. It tastes like a delicate ocean cream. One of the first 1,000 people that buys Osmo salt will randomly get my chef's knife. It's the exact one that I've used in all these videos. This isn't something you'll hear people say often. Let's make a cheese-stuffed Wagyu burger. Start with Japanese olive Wagyu, the most expensive beef in the world. Now I'll chop it up, then grind it up, then I'll shape it into a ball, make a nice hole, add some caramelized onions, and cheese. Now we'll cook our patties, then we'll flip it over. Look at that bubbly goodness. Now I'll slice my burger bun, place on that patty, a little lettuce, tomato, and special sauce. Slice it open. And there you have it, folks. This might just be the sexiest burger I have ever seen. Probably the tastiest burger I have ever made. Let's make lemon pepper chicken wings. Drop in your chicken drums and cover them in buttermilk and pickle juice. Let them rest for a while. Now into a bowl, add some potato starch, a nice handful of lemon pepper, some of my new black truffle salt, a little garlic powder, and a touch of paprika. Now for our sauce, a half stick of butter, then some lemon zest, a nice squeeze of lemon, and some fresh cracked pepper. Now drop your wings in the flour and tap off that excess. Drop them in the fryer first at 325 Fahrenheit, and now we fry again at 375 till golden brown. Now we'll drop in our wings, immediately hit them with some flaky salt, and then pour on the lemon pepper sauce, as well as some chopped parsley. And would you look at that? Things just don't get better than this. This has got to be one of the best wings I've ever had. Let's make ramen snacks. I know this sounds crazy, but this is still one of my favorite snacks. Don't throw away the seasoning packet, we're gonna need it. Tear off the corner, put a little bit on the edge of your ramen, and then we eat. And no, this is not a prank video or an ad. Literally just one of my favorite snacks. Let's try it with roast beef flavoring. It's just so good. Let's make ramen snacks. I know this sounds crazy, but this is still one of my favorite snacks. Don't throw away the seasoning packet, we're gonna need it. Tear off the corner, put a little bit on the edge of your ramen, and then we eat. And no, this is not a prank video or an ad. Literally just one of my favorite snacks. Let's try it with roast beef flavoring. It's just so good. Let's make milk chocolate. First, let's fly to Ecuador to get a few cacao pods. So we've touched down in Ecuador, and right here you have a cacao tree. I can rip this off, and right here we have the cacao fruit. And I flew the pods with me, all the way from Ecuador. Crack the pods open, and admire their unique beauty. Now we squeeze them off to let them ferment. They look like a bunch of alien life forms. Now we roast them. Now I'll crush the shells. They look like a dinosaur egg on the inside. This will grind for about 24 hours. Now we'll add in a bit of sugar. Finally, our chocolate is done. Pour that chocolate. Now we'll peel back the chocolate mold, and we have a perfect bar of milk chocolate. That is silky smooth. Now, hopefully more people will know where chocolate comes from, but together, let's make frozen fruit roll-ups. So apparently, if you stack a bunch of fruit roll-ups, then freeze them, it's the coolest snack ever. Let's see if that's true. Freeze it a few hours. Okay, it's really hard and brittle now. Let's just dive in. What? It starts off hard and it turns chewy right away. Kind of agree this is the best snack ever, so let's make pão de queijo, or Brazilian cheese bread. Into a stand mixer, add 4 cups tapioca flour. Then into a pot, add 1 1/4 cups milk, 1/2 cup water, pinch of salt, and 6 tablespoons of oil. And once the mixture boils, add it to your mixer. It's gonna get really tough and sticky like this. But now we'll add 2 eggs until fully incorporated. Now we'll add 1 1/2 cups grated Parmesan cheese, still left over from my Parmesan wheel, and a cup of shredded mozzarella. Grease that baking tray, drop in your batter, then bake at 400 Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes. They look stunningly good. I mean, just take a second to enjoy how beautiful these are. Let's do a few cheese pulls. Just look how hot and sticky they are. They're like little muffins, but better. Cheesy and delicious. Let's make frozen honey. It's time to go, I'm ready to rumble. So this is the whole hive, and in there are a bunch of frames. So here he's gonna pull out the whole frame from the hive. This right here is a frame of bees. Right here is the honey. Let's take this back to the kitchen and make some frozen honey. We're back, and we brought a full frame of honeycomb with us. We'll start by taking a nice scoop of fresh honey. Now we'll melt the honey to separate the wax. I literally made a frozen honey popsicle. Look at how high I squeezed this one up. Let's try it. Seriously though, don't do this trend or you will get diarrhea. Yeah, I really went beekeeping to get my own honey for a trend where people say, let's make somebody's day. I know you guys know me for my cooking videos or for getting yelled at by Gordon Ramsay, but today I'm doing something a little different. I usually clean my kitchen myself, but once in a while, this really sweet guy named Sydney comes to help. Today he thinks he's coming to clean, but there's actually no cleaning today. Instead, I teamed up with Current to surprise him with $10,000 worth of kitchen equipment. Banking made easy. His dad recently passed away, so I also wanted to get him plane tickets to visit his family. Hey Sydney, how are you?
Good, how are you?
There's no cleaning today. I know how you used to come and help clean once in a while, and I kept wrecking the kitchen all the time, so I wanted to give you a big thanks. All this kitchen equipment is for you. You got $1,000 worth of Whole Foods.
Oh my god.
The last thing I wanted to give you was, this is first class plane tickets to Brazil back to visit your family.
Wow.
It's like, this is, no, thank you Sydney. I'm feeling generous today, and so is Current, so let's make a Wagyu filet mignon. This is a Japanese Wagyu Miyazaki Gyu tenderloin. Some of the best beef money can buy. We restocked my salt today. Last time it fully sold out in 12 hours. Link in bio to get some before it's gone. Roll that steak around and we're ready to cook. To start, just a touch of oil. Now it's time to flip it over. Look at that crust. Bit of butter, fresh thyme, garlic, a little butter. Give that meat a nice shower. Time to rest. I'll hit it with some applewood smoke. Voila. I think this steak speaks for itself. That is juicier than you. Nope, TikTok banned me for a couple days or something. I wanna hear all the TikTok steak experts' opinion on this, so let's make giant cake pops. To start, oh, I'm sorry.
I baked a bunch of cakes.
Drop out all our cakes. Crumble all this into a bowl, and just stop eating the cake. Frosting.
Add in your sprinkles. Nick's not watching. Time to add the frosting to the cake. Mix it all up.
Now we'll fill up our molds
Put them together. Melt that chocolate.
until it looks like this. And once it's frozen,
Shove in that stick.
and then we dip.
Don't forget the sprinkles.
Now that right there is a cake pop.
Delicious. And that's how you make a giant cake pop.
Let's make homemade yogurt. First, let's go milk a cow. This is Elizabeth,
This is Bray.
and we're gonna milk a cow. We'll start by cleaning the teats. Then we'll strip the teats.
So creamy.
Now we'll suction these on and collect that milk. Look at all that milk. Now we'll thank the cow for the milk and go back home to make our yogurt. Add 1 quart of milk, heat to 180 Fahrenheit, precision. Add 3.5 tablespoons yogurt with live cultures, then sit it at 115 Fahrenheit for 12 hours. Fresh from our pretty cow. Need some maple syrup. We milked a cow and got some milk, so let's make biscotti.
Biscotti, bitch!
Half cup.
What the fuck? It ain't right.
Half cup vegetable oil.
Yeah, that looks good. 3 eggs.
Almond extract.
Vanilla extract.
Whisk it up.
You should call her. Get a separate bowl, bitch.
3¼ cups flour.
1 cup of white sugar.
Pinch of brown sugar.
And a little bit of baking powder. Don't forget your almonds.
Mix it all together.
Press it out on the baking sheet.
Now bake at 375 for 25 minutes.
Cut the biscotti.
Now back in the oven at 10 minutes per side.
Let's dip the biscotti.
Now that looks good.
Cheers, bitch. It's not biscotti.
Let's make truffle butter. Actually, let's make the butter from scratch. This is 1 giant truffle. You already know what time it is. Clean cut right through the middle. Actually, I got a better idea. Hi-ya! That's better. For our butter, 6 cups of heavy cream. Then let it whisk. Fresh homemade butter. It's time to squeeze out that buttermilk. It's good to give the butter a light spank. We'll spread it all out, then a pinch of black truffle salt, and our black truffle crumbles. Then we fold it all together, lay it on parchment, and roll it up. Now into the freezer it goes. You can use this butter for anything. Delicious. I have this and I have this, so let's make a Raising Cane's pizza. Chop that chicken. Pizza dough. Hi-ya! A touch of oil, pizza dough. Now press it out. Then add your sauce, cheese, chicken, a bit of that coleslaw, and of course, a few fries. Now bake this at 400 Fahrenheit till golden brown. Can you hear that sizzle? Finish with some extra sauce. It's gonna be messy, but I'm not mad about it. That's a killer slice of pizza right there. Look at the perfectly caramelized crust. Let's go. Words cannot describe how good that is. In honor of Raising Cane's 25-year anniversary, let's make strawberry fruit leather. Have a little faith in it. These are frozen Japanese strawberries. At one point, they looked like this. To a pan, add your strawberries and a few tablespoons of honey. Then add a small squeeze of lemon, add to your blender, and blend till smooth. Pour it on your tray, spread it out, then bake at 175 Fahrenheit about 6 hours. Our leather is complete. I'll gently peel off the leather. This stuff is silky smooth. Make some nice clean cuts, or you can just tear it up. And then we got fruit roll-ups. This is the best fruit leather you'll ever have. Let's carbonate an entire watermelon. To start, let's test our dry ice. Here we go. Looks like solid dry ice. Now I'll slice a few openings in the watermelon because we need to let in the CO2. Now into my cooler with some dry ice, then in with our watermelon, and we seal the whole thing up. Look how much pressure there already is. Now that our watermelon's been carbonating for over 12 hours, it's time to cut it open and see if it worked. First things first, we'll slice, and right here is the moment of truth. Look at that sizzle. Now we take a bite. Holy fuck! My whole mouth is so foamy. I've got a bunch of dry ice, so let's cook Wagyu on a hot stove. This here is a Himalayan pink salt slab. And this right here is a Wagyu filet mignon. Some of the best beef money can buy. First season it with flaky salt, and then we sear. I mean, seriously, does steak get any better than this? We'll finish with more flaky salt. Slice. Voila. Is it overcooked, undercooked, or perfect? Some black truffle salt. And, oh my God. Now normally I'd use a cast iron pan, but today, let's make grapefruit brulee. You've been eating grapefruits the wrong way. Let me show you how. Slice that bad boy in half, then cover them in a bunch of sugar and a nice even layer across the top. Now take your flamethrower and give them a nice torch. If you don't have a flamethrower, stick it under your broiler. Make sure all that sugar is melted. Look at that beautiful shine in the grapefruit. Listen. Wow. It's pretty ridiculous how great these taste. Let's make shack sauce. Oh no, they forgot my shack sauce. Don't worry, we can make it at home. For our homemade mayonnaise, 1 egg yolk, then slowly drizzle oil while whisking until you have mayo. Tablespoon Dijon mustard, teaspoon ketchup, splash of pickle juice, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. Look at that drip. I want this sauce all over me. Next time you need special sauce, it's easy. Let's make pesto eggs my way. Drop in your eggs, try not to break any. Add a bit of vinegar so the whites don't run. Start your timer. To a bowl, add some water and ice. Then plunge your eggs in the cold water. Now these are perfect soft-boiled eggs. I love popping yolks. In goes my syringe, then I'll suck out the yolk. Look at all that yolk. For our pesto, basil, pine nuts, parmesan, garlic, olive oil. Now we'll take our pesto. Into the egg it goes. This feels so wrong yet so right. Should have been a doctor. What I'm about to do is gonna blow a lot of people's minds. Let's make homemade sriracha. I'll take the stems off a pound of red jalapenos and a ½ pound red serrano peppers. Leave the seeds. Now into your blender with the peppers, 3 tablespoons brown sugar, a few cloves peeled garlic, a pinch of the new Osmo, our flaky sriracha salt. Now we'll pour this into a bowl. Once fermented and bubbles have formed, strain this over a pan, pushing out as much pulp as you can. Then cook till you reach your desired thickness. Eventually, my sauce is the perfect consistency. Pour in that sauce. Perfect. Osmo Flaky Sriracha launched today. Super limited, so link in bio to get some now. I'm feeling a little spicy today, so let's make sour watermelon slushies. Ah. Scoop out that watermelon. And once we've cleared out the watermelon, ice, Sour Patch, a little sugar, citric acid, squeeze of lemon, touch of red dye, then cover with some watermelon juice and blend it up into a nice frosted cup and then a nice slice of watermelon. If you make anything this summer, this should be it. Let's make truffle grilled cheese. What the hell are these things called? Paint each slice of bread with mayonnaise, then flip, add your cheese, then some shaved truffles, nice thin slices like this, then more cheese, close it up, butter, drop it in, give it a flip. Look at all that melty cheese. I am salivating way too hard right now. It's just unreal. Oh my God. I got a truffle the size of a baseball, so let's make strawberry tong hulu. These are the biggest strawberries ever. For scale, here's a lemon. To start, we'll add 4 cups of sugar and 2 cups of water. Bring this to a boil and don't stir. You can swirl it if you want. While that boils, we'll make an ice bath with water and ice. When you dip a wooden stick into the sugar and then the ice and that sugar cracks, we're ready to dip. Rip off the green part, boop, then dip the strawberries into the sugar and then immediately into the ice water. And let's appreciate that smooth, beautiful shine. Listen. Let's make homemade brown sugar. You ever run out of brown sugar and you just don't know what to do? Don't worry, I got you. 1 cup sugar and about a tablespoon of molasses. Now mix it all up. After a little bit, you got brown sugar. Be honest, who thought it was a completely different type of sugar? Well, I hope you learned something new today. Let's make Dalgona candy from Squid Game. Oh, 3 tablespoons sugar, stir over medium low. When the sugar dissolves, add a pinch of baking soda, then stir and pour onto your tray. Now press it out and imprint your shape. And you've got the perfect Dalgona candy.
What are you doing? You fucking donut.
This weird card arrived in the mail, so let's make bubblegum infused tequila. Hi-ya! I'll fill mine up with tequila, then I'll plastic wrap and let it sit for a few days. After it's had time to rest, all the color and flavor has been sucked out of the bubblegum. We'll strain out the liquid, leaving just the bubblegum. It's all white, the color is gone. Now back into our bottle. Just kidding. But now you know how to flavor any alcohol you want with bubblegum. I've got lots of bubblegum and lots of tequila. So, let's make a Damascus knife. First, we have to go meet a master bladesmith.
First, we'll layer up the steel bars.
And then we weld it together.
And once our knife is polished,
We need a handle.
now we'll trace it out.
Then we polish the handle.
Now put them together. All right, butter.
My new weapon of choice in the kitchen. I've gotten this request a ton, so let's cut open the perfect brisket. This has been cooking for 12 hours. Meat doesn't get juicier than this. Just watch this thing squirt. This thing is juicing like no other.
Don't forget the juice.
This thing's about to juice everywhere, so let's make ramen fried rice. Add some oil, then get it nice and toasty. Add some leftover rice, MSG, soy sauce, a little pepper. Add on that fried rice, then a few green onions, and a couple sesame seeds. I'll never make fried rice without ramen again. I saw it and had to try it, so let's turn Chick-fil-A Chinese. These are good, but they can be better. Slice up your chicken. Now get it nice and crispy, just like that. For our sauce, Polynesian, hoisin, chili crisp, rice vinegar, soy sauce, then just a pinch of sugar. Stir on high heat till it looks like this. Finish with some fresh ginger. Add your chicken, then drizzle on that sauce. Don't forget the sesame and a few green onions. That's what good chicken sounds like.
Yo, we really just turned Chick-fil-A Chinese.
I had some leftovers, so let's make pumpkin pasta. Hiya! Pumpkin puree. Add your flour, make a nice well, then add your yolks, a pinch of salt, and pumpkin puree. And once it looks like this, knead, then rest your dough, roll it out, and watch it fall. Now carve it up, hand cut pumpkin pasta. Salt the water with Osmo pumpkin spice. Then cook your pasta. Now into your pan with butter, sage, black truffle, and your pasta. That's what good Now add your pasta, a few bits of pumpkin, and a bit of Parmesan cheese. I went to a pumpkin patch, so let's make candy corn Rice Krispies. Because candy corn is the best. Half stick of butter. Yeah! Once the butter's melted, 1 bag mini marshmallows, then stir till it looks like this. Now 6 cups Rice Krispies and that ooey gooey marshmallow. Divide into 3 and add your food coloring. If you're gonna make these, add your coloring to the marshmallow first. Bang! Sign up for a 6-month trial of Prime Student at no cost. You'll get free 2-hour grocery delivery so you can make Rice Krispies like these. Almost as good as candy corn. Let's make mango fruit lettuce. To get all the mango, scrape it down a cup like this. Now into our blender, along with some honey. Now we blend it up. Next we pour it onto a baking sheet, then spread it out. Then bake at 175 Fahrenheit for a few hours. Now we'll peel back our fruit leather and we're left with this. Not a big deal, but I'm pretty good at doing this with mangoes. Oh, these mangoes are perfect. So let's make a 250-pound pumpkin spice latte. Start with a 200-pound pumpkin. Then it's time to carve. Then we'll take our top off. Now reach for the guts. Now we'll fill it with water. Look at that perfect stream. Now we'll heat our water to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we'll add milk powder, sugar, brown sugar, pumpkin spice, pumpkin puree, and some hot coffee. That's what good pumpkin sounds like. Now add your whipped cream, a final pinch of pumpkin spice. You can even serve it in a mini pumpkin. What are you doing, step pumpkin? It's pumpkin season, so let's make the perfect swordfish. Good swordfish.
Now slice your swordfish.
Now we coat it in mayonnaise.
Much love.
Now season it up.
Now bake 10 minutes at 425.
Then broil till golden brown. Look at that sizzle. Fish just doesn't get better than this.
I just caught a swordfish, so
Let's make the world's most expensive Wagyu. This is certified Japanese Kobe beef. It retails at $500 a pound. It even comes with these certificates. This is the cow's nose print, and this is the farmer that raised the cow. We'll lay it down, then slice it up till it looks like this. Now I'll add a pinch of salt. Now I'll oil my pan and add your beef. Look at that crust. Look how fatty this is. Season it with Osmo white truffle, which dropped today. Let's try. This is the type of bite that makes you happy. I haven't made Wagyu for a while, so let's make potato gratin. Peel 3 russet potatoes.
3 sweet potatoes.
Then slice till nice and thin.
And rinse in ice water.
Now into a bowl, 1.5 cups heavy cream.
3 tablespoons melted butter.
And 3 cloves minced garlic.
Then grate 2.5 cups Gruyere cheese.
Now layer your potatoes.
1/3 of the cream mixture.
Salt and pepper.
Fresh rosemary and thyme.
And a layer of cheese.
Repeat this process 2 more times.
But no cheese on top. We have to save it for later.
Cover and bake at 350 for 1 hour 15.
Now add a final layer of cheese.
And broil until golden, like me. And as always, now bismillah.
This is my favorite thing on Thanksgiving.
This dish will change your life.
Let's make a Thanksgiving turkey the right way. First, let your bird thaw out.
Oh.
Dry off your turkey.
Then season with salt,
Pepper,
garlic powder,
and whatever else you want.
now separate the skin from the bird.
And slide in cubes of butter. Now rub your entire bird in mayonnaise.
What are you doing, step turkey?
Now place this in the oven at 450 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes.
Lower to 325 and cook for 15 minutes per pound.
Now that is one beautiful bird. Now we slice in and appreciate that juice. The mayo method is the only way to cook your turkey this year.
Fine, the mayo actually works.
Let's make crispy Brussels sprouts. These are Brussels sprout stalks. We peel it off, and there's your Brussels sprout. Hi-ya! Now slice them in half, cover a tray with oil, then place your tray in the oven at 450 Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. Now add a touch of oil, balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper, and a light drizzle of honey. Now arrange your Brussels sprouts flat side down, then bake these at 425 till golden brown and crispy. Listen. To finish, add a bit more honey and some extra balsamic. These are the best Brussels sprouts you'll ever have. Usually Brussels sprouts suck, but it doesn't have to be that way. Let's make risotto in a Parmesan wheel. This wheel weighs 80 pounds and retails for $3,000.
To start, we're gonna score around the edge with a knife. Then we wedge it into the wheel.
Wedge off that lid.
Now we cook Larry the lobster.
Sorry, Larry. Now we make a lobster stock.
Begin making the risotto.
Add your rice.
Splash of white wine.
To finish, a few cubes of butter.
Some fresh Parmesan cheese.
Another splash of olive oil.
And a bit of black pepper.
Now we dig a hole out of the middle.
And now we add some white wine. Whoa! Now we add our risotto.
And last but not least, our lobster meat.
Taste it. That has got to be the best risotto I've ever had in my life.
I got a whole wheel of Parmesan today, so let's make lasagna bites. Salt your water, then drop in your pasta. Add some olive oil and a touch of black pepper. Lay out your pasta, then add ricotta cheese, pasta sauce, and mozzarella. Then roll it all up, just like this. Now into an air fryer, then bake it 365 Fahrenheit till golden brown. Ooh, dip them in the sauce. Holy fuck. Italians might get mad at me for this, but let's make fried lobster mac and cheese. I'm sorry, Larry. That's a lot of meat. Now take your leftover mac and cheese, add some lobster meat, then shape it into a ball. Then dredge in flour, egg, and panko. And then we fry. This is the coolest thing ever. Perfect golden brown. You'd better do this with those Thanksgiving leftovers. Don't forget to add a little salt and pepper. Osmo automatic salt and pepper grinders launched today. That is a whole of happiness. I've got some leftover mac and cheese, so let's make the perfect cookie. Butter,
2 cups flour,
3/4 cup sugar,
a cup of brown sugar,
2 eggs,
teaspoon of vanilla, baking soda, and salt.
miniaturize your chocolate chips, add your chocolate chips, and then fold them in. Mix f***ing faster, Linja. Sorry, Linja, I didn't mean that. Now shape your cookies. Now bake 8 to 10 minutes at 375 Fahrenheit. Now that's a good looking cookie.
Soft and chewy. I've got the perfect recipe.
Let's make fresh caviar.
First, we have to suit up. Look how cute she is.
Remove the ovaries from the fish.
This is raw caviar.
Separate the caviar from the ovaries.
Now we wash the caviar.
Until it's nice and clean.
Now we dry it off.
Measure it out.
Add a little salt.
Then we dry again.
Then it's packed into a tin like this to mature.
Pack the tin.
And now we taste.
That's the Rolls Royce of the sea.
I got a few sturgeon, so let's make a pan pizza. Left hand. Nice and well rested. Brown butter. Paint with butter. Then add your dough, press it out. Pizza sauce, cheese, add it to the edges too, and more brown butter. Don't forget fresh basil. Now into the oven at 500 Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes. I like my pizza extra crispy. Look at those crispy edges. There's a simple way to learn how to make dough. I mean the money kind. Visit public.com/Nick to become a better investor now. That's a good looking slice right there. Pan pizza is the best pizza. I'm feeling cheesy today, so let's make Nutella churros. This is my most prized possession. Start with 6 tablespoons butter, 1/2 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of water, a tablespoon of sugar, and a touch of homemade vanilla extract. Once heated, add 1 cup all-purpose flour, and once a smooth dough has formed, I must give it a little spank. Now add in 3 eggs, fill up a pastry bag, and deep fry at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't forget cinnamon sugar. Now I'll take my Nutella syringe, stuff the churros with Nutella, and you can even dip in Nutella too. I'm in the mood for sweets, so let's make vanilla extract. Exactly 1 year ago, I made this bottle of vanilla extract. Fair warning, this recipe takes 1 year. For those of you that stuck with me, congrats. This is a year's work, and I'm gonna show you how to make it again. Start with an empty bottle, then stuff in about 5 or 6 vanilla beans. Boop! Now we need vodka. First, I'll add in my old vanilla extract and the vanilla beans. Now for more vodka. Now we let this sit for 1 year. And next year, we'll have even better vanilla extract. This last video got 15 million views, so let's cook fancy pasta. This is the fanciest pasta I've ever seen. We'll salt our water, shout out Osmo, and in goes our pasta. Just when I thought food couldn't get any cooler. This is beautiful. Butter, then in goes our pasta, then some Parmesan cheese, and black truffle salt. Yummy. Eating this just feels wrong. This is a work of art. Let's make pasta from an ostrich egg. It came packed in a baby diaper. This is an ostrich egg. This is 25 times this. Time to drill it open. I'll need a mask for this. Ta-da! Flour, then make a well. Now add your ostrich egg, and then we mix. Hi-ya! Salt your water like the ocean. Then in goes our pasta. And once it's cooked, Parmigiano, olive oil, white truffle salt. Then we taste. Mwah! I want to show you the difference between a regular egg and an ostrich egg. I never thought I'd say this, but let's make Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington blindfolded. Garlic, shallots, and mushrooms. Don't forget a little bit of salt. And once you've made a fine paste, set this aside. Now cover your beef in salt and pepper, and I just want you to listen to that sizzle. Paint the whole thing in mustard. Now layer down your crepes, prosciutto, duxelle. Now place down your meat, and then we roll it up. Rest this in the fridge for 20 minutes. Now I'll roll out my puff pastry, drop on my beef, then we roll it up. Now paint it with egg wash, and hit it with some flaky salt. Bake this at 400 Fahrenheit till beautiful golden brown. I think we have the perfect Wellington. And now for the moment of truth. There you have the perfect beef Wellington. I might just cook blindfolded from now on. I'm feeling a challenge today, so let's make a Guinness World Record cake pop.
Hiya!
First, we'll measure a regular cake pop.
Then multiply by 1,000.
Start with 1 Linja length worth of cakes. Now pour in that cake batter.
And bake your Linja stack of cakes.
Now we crumble all our cake, cream cheese,
Confectioner's sugar. Now we've made our icing. Now scoop in your frosting.
and once our dough is mixed, we spread.
Now we fill our mold. And now we toss on the lid. Then we'll place on these clamps.
Now last but not least, we push in that stick.
Now we toss this in the freezer overnight.
Now we gotta fill it with dry ice.
Now pull up the clamps.
Then wedge off the top.
And now we pick up the bottom.
Now we'll add royal icing.
It's sprinkle time. Open up, Nick.
And this is an 100-pound cake pop.
Nick, why is yours so small?
Now I'll cut off a slice.
Delicious.
And 3 weeks later, we got it. I'm gonna go surprise Linja in New Jersey.
Don't even think about breaking our record. I'm tired of these puny cake pops.
Let's make holiday ravioli. 2 cups flour.
Make a crater.
Add your yolks. Now break the yolks.
Add in the brown food color.
Now knead.
The perfect ravioli dough.
Now roll it out.
Cut out a gingerbread man. Add in Rudolph's blood.
Now add the filling.
Cover it up. Now that he's decorated, salt the water.
And drop him in. He's alive. Ah! Linja, you killed him.
That's the cutest gingerbread man I ever had.
Let's make barbecue buffalo wings. Add your chicken, buttermilk, and pickle juice. Let this brine at least 30 minutes in the fridge. For our dredge, potato starch, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and chili powder. Then dredge your wings and tap off that excess flour. Now fry at 350 Fahrenheit till golden brown. Just listen to that sizzle. Now in a large bowl, mix buffalo and barbecue. Now add your wings, then toss them in sauce. Look at that perfect mix. Also, drums will always be better than flats. It's the perfect combo of sweet and spicy. Let's make blueberry fruit leather. Start with 1 pound fresh blueberries, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, and about a tablespoon of honey. And now we blend it up. You can add a bit of water to help if needed. Onto parchment or silicone, pour on your puree, and then spread it out. Give it a few taps, then bake at 175 Fahrenheit for several hours. Now peel off your blueberry leather. I'm warning you now, it's really fun to play with. Now tear up your leather. Let's eat. Could be my favorite one yet. Who doesn't love blueberries? Let's make strawberry gummy bears. This is 5,000 times the weight of a normal gummy bear. What are you doing, Step Gummy? For your gummies, 2 cups strawberries, 2/3 cup water, 4 tablespoons honey, 2 tablespoons lemon juice, then blend it up. Add food coloring if you want. Add it to a saucepan, and once simmering, add 8 teaspoons of dried gelatin powder. And once combined, strain your mixture, then drop it into your gummy bear mold. Rest in the fridge overnight. Now pop out your gummy bears, then let them rest for several days. And then we've got perfect gummy bears. I even made this gummy army. I have a crazy sweet tooth today, so let's make birria ramen. Chile de árbol, chile guajillo, chile ancho. Remove the seeds. Cube your meat, garlic, onions, beef, chiles, tomatoes, Mexican spice blend, water. Cover, then place in the oven at 300 Fahrenheit for several hours. Set aside your beef, then into your blender and blend it up.
Oh, amazing.
Drop in your ramen. Ramen, tender beef, birria, Oaxaca cheese, and cilantro.
It's heavenly.
I'm in the mood for something comforting, so let's cook olive Wagyu beef. This is Japanese olive Wagyu beef. We'll carefully cut it open. This meat won the Wagyu Olympics for best fat quality, which means this meat has more Olympic medals than you. For seasoning, we only use salt. Now that's how you render fat. Perfect golden brown. Now we slice in and appreciate the perfect medium rare. Look at all that juice. I dare you to tell me that's raw. I'll finish with a touch of roasted garlic salt. Now we taste. I get why it won the Olympics. I haven't cooked Wagyu in a while. Let's make salmon nuggets. That's me. I'll start with a whole king salmon. You can buy yours pre-portioned. I just like to be extra. I'll start by slicing around the head, then slice down the spine, then separate the fillet, flip, and repeat. Now slice into cubes. We'll cover our salmon in soy sauce, then set it aside to brine. Panko, potato starch, a couple eggs. Season with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Dredge in the potato starch, eggs, and panko. Now we fry at 375 Fahrenheit till golden brown. Tell me you don't want this nugget in your mouth right now. Listen, this is my new favorite thing ever. Unreal. Bye-bye chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are so last year. Let's make deep fried avocado.
Nick, catch!
Thank you. I got enough requests for this that I'm actually gonna do it. I'll gently score my avocado, then peel the skin off. I love peeling avocados. He's totally naked. I'll season some potato starch, then dredge my avocado, then drop it in egg wash, then into my breadcrumbs. Now fry at 375 Fahrenheit till golden brown. Perfect golden brown. It looks cool, but it smells kind of weird. I guess I'll take a bite. Avocado's not meant to be hot. I can't believe I'm doing this. Let's make pasta in a wheel of Parmesan. Score the cheese.
Now wedge in your knife, crack it open, dig it out, then light it on fire.
Big giant sprinkle of salt. In goes our pasta.
Now toss in your pasta. Now you add the sauce, and a little bit of pepperoni.
Now that's the perfect pasta.
Oh my God, that's insane. It's so good.
I'm feeling extra Italian today, so let's make crispy chicken skin chips. Rotisserie chickens will always be my favorite food. First, we remove the thong. You can't leave your chicken tied up. And then gently begin to peel off that skin. Then lay your chicken skins on a wire rack. Then add salt, pepper, and a touch of chili powder. And bake at 375 Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. Listen to that crisp. This will be your new favorite part of chicken. It's not burnt, it's seasoning. Just listen. You're gonna wanna make these tonight. This might be my favorite food of all time. Let's make roasted garlic bread. Slice your bread in half, then warm it up in the oven. Now chop the heads off a few bulbs of garlic, then cover in olive oil, salt, and pepper. Then cover and bake 35 minutes at 400 Fahrenheit. That's what I call roasted garlic. Now simply squeeze that garlic over your bread. I promise it won't be too garlicky. That's why we cook it. Then spread it with your knife. That's a perfect layer of garlic. Add some Parmesan cheese, a little garlic salt, dry parsley, and fresh parsley. This garlic bread is easy and will blow your mind. Just listen. I have no words. It doesn't get better than this. Let's make chicken lollipops. Add your chicken, brine it in buttermilk, and don't forget your seasoning. Then trim your lollipop until it looks like this. Then add your flour, seasoning, and dredge. Then we fry. Perfectly crispy. Now into a pan, we'll add 2 cups of sugar and 1 cup of water. Now we'll make an ice bath, then dip our chicken into the sugar, then into the ice bath. Now that's a good looking chicken drum. That's the perfect combination between sweet and savory. I felt creative today, so let's make a Wagyu Big Mac. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We'll start with Japanese Wagyu beef. Carve out the perfect patty. Then we'll drive to McDonald's, season our patties. 1 Big Mac, but hold back the patties. Then cook our beef in the drive-thru. Now we assemble, and we've got a $350 Wagyu Big Mac. Ta-da! Time to eat. That was perfection. Nope, this is not a joke. Let's make pasta from an emu egg. This is an emu egg. They almost don't look real. Instead of pork, I'll start with a bit of Wagyu, and once nice and crispy, set it aside. Our special egg needs special pasta. Salt your water, then cook your pasta. Now we pour our egg into a bowl, along with some Parmesan cheese and some black pepper. Now mix it up, then drop in your pasta, turn off the heat, and add in your egg mixture. There's only one way we can serve this pasta. So this is a Wagyu emu egg carbonara. Let's taste. That's crazy good. I have never seen one of these before. Let's make lobster rangoon. This is Larry. I'm sorry, Larry. Steam your lobster. Boop. Now into a bowl with your lobster meat, 8 ounces cream cheese, 1 clove minced garlic, 1/4 teaspoon Worcestershire, and some chopped green onion. Don't forget your flaky salt. Mix it all up. Now we'll start with a wonton wrap, place down our filling, paint all 4 edges with egg wash, and then fold it up. Then we fry at 350 Fahrenheit till golden brown. I'm excited for this. Mwah. Just when I thought crab rangoon couldn't get better. Let's make tater tots. Don't be lazy, make them yourself. 6 russet potatoes, then cover with water, then bring to a boil and cook 6 to 7 minutes. Now grate your potatoes and press out all the liquid. Now add salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, dill, and a tablespoon all-purpose flour. Now form your tots. To a pan, add 1 cup vegetable oil. Hello. Then cook your tots over medium heat till golden brown. Nice and crispy. A little more salt, the perfect tot. Just listen. These look insane. I've wanted to do this for a while.